All right, here's the position I'm working. He's got me in top side control, and he's working the Americana. All right, the first thing I have to do is I have to make sure that he doesn't get the Americana. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to just bring my elbow in and eliminate his angle. And then as I'm pulling this way, he's probably going to start trying to open it back up again. So as I'm pulling this way, as he starts to open back up again, I'm going to explode it out. Boom, explode out. Now as I explode out, I have to shoot my arm up to the side of his neck. All right, you don't want to do it like this and give him room to breathe, so you have to really get good coverage on the side of his neck. Here, so explode out, then cover the side of his neck. Elbow, or not, rather your shoulder, your bicep, all that has to get coverage over his neck. So I get coverage over his neck. I'm going to reach back, figure four my arms, use my head, use my other hand. I can put this other hand either on his head or the back of his arm, but I want to just get a lot of good coverage. And this, because the detail is that I have to squeeze with my elbow, so wherever this hand goes, it can go in different places, either here or here. But as long as I'm squeezing my elbows together and I got good head pressure on the side of his arm, the choke will work. So as I get good coverage, I grab here and here. Now I'm going to squeeze my elbows together. Here, elbows come together. I got pressure with my shoulder on the side of his face. My head's in. Then I just expand my chest and squeeze. And I make the choke work. All right, so the key is this hand can actually go here or here, but because the real pressure comes from the elbows and that expansion of your chest. So now fast motion is he's going for the arm. All right, now I'm in top side control, you know, and because he's in an advantageous position, he thinks he can just do whatever he wants to me. So now, as you see, he's going to go start reaching for the Americana. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bait it to him. All right. So I'm in this position here. I got my arms, you know, I'm relatively safe here. I see him going for it. So you know what? I feel him going for it. I can't allow him to get this far into it. If he gets this far into it, it's going to be too difficult for me to make it work. So I want to just wait until he grabs it initially and doesn't figure for his arms. Because once he does that, boom, I'm going to go ahead and get the grip instead of him getting it on me. So I'm here. He starts to reach for it. Before he gets his grip, I'm going to block his from coming in. As he reaches for it, I'm going to block his from coming in and grab and re-grab on mine. Now, what's he going to do? Now from here, I'm going to pull his back, raise my hips, and get it on him before he gets a chance to do it to me. You know what I'm saying? He tries to Americana me. I'm going to Americana him first. So I'm here. He reaches for it. I block. Get it on him and finish. Now full speed. You didn't see that, did you? You didn't see it? All right, let me show you how it's done. All right, he's got the Americana here, and he's going to work on my arm. Now, before I allow him to pull my arm down, I just want to break the 90-degree angle of my own elbow. That's important because if it's 90 degrees and he slides it down and raises it up, I'm going to get caught. So I want to break that first initially. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break that so that now I can go to work. So I'm going to break it here. Also, when I'm breaking it, I'm just kind of turning my wrist towards me, turning my hand towards me. Because by turning my hand towards me, what that's doing is that's putting his wrist in a compromising position to start with. So I'm here, he's got the grip. If I just pull it here, then I have to reach a little further. So I'm going to pull it and turn my hand towards me while he's holding on to the wrist. Now I'm going to trap his elbow in between my shoulder and my head. Trap, pull it, then I'm going to reach over the top, grab his knuckles, and pull it in. So he's got the Americana, twist, trap the elbow, tap, and pull in. Now fast speed. All right, now I'm working from the position where he has an Achilles lock here. And the first thing I have to do always, when somebody has a foot lock on you in this position, is straighten your leg and point your toes up. If you don't, if you're a little lazy here, it's going to put a lot of pressure on you. It's going to hurt. And you're going to end up tapping out. So take care of this first before you work on anything else. Before you work on getting out, counter, make sure that you can survive a little bit. All right, now that I have the counter here, I'm going to take the same side arm I have, the inside arm, and I'm going to weave it in his leg. Weave it between his calf and his thigh. Okay, now I'm going to weave it in because my arm is flatter this way. So I'm going to weave it in here. I'm going to weave it in just like this. It's flatter this way. And it's going to be able to penetrate a little bit deeper, and it's going to be a little easier to maneuver on the inside. And I'm going to get it in right about this level. Okay, not at the wrist right here, but about here. Not here, here. Okay, so he's got the lock here. I've defended my leg. I'll weave this in. Now that it's in, I'm going to kind of scoot to the side a little bit to get a little bit more leverage. Now I'm going to throw my leg over the top, grip my hands. Once I grip my hands, I'm going to turn it. See, that's the key. I've had it here, it was flat before, and he wasn't worried about it. But as soon as I turn it, bam! Then I put them bones on his thigh and his calf. That's the pressure, that's the pain, that's the thing that's going to make him tap. So I'm here, I weaved it in. He ain't worried about it right now. He thinks he's okay. He thinks now it's still just a battle. So I'm coming off to the side a little bit. I'm going to throw my leg over the top here, grip my hands. Now I turn it, and once I turn it, I pull it towards me, and I push my hip forward. When I push my hip forward, it's going to put pressure on his foot this way. And then as I'm pulling this here, it's just a lot of pressure coming from many different angles, which is going to get you that tap. So I turn it, I'm kicking him in, pushing my hip forward, and I get that tap. Now full speed. All right, a common mistake that most beginner grapplers, and you'll even see some intermediate level grapplers mistake, is, well, from both perspectives. A beginner grappler will cross his feet behind you when he has rear mount, and also a beginner grappler doesn't really sometimes recognize when somebody has their feet crossed in front of them because they're so focused on the choke, and which you should be. So right now, he's got me in a choke. And the first thing I have to do is I have to be able to survive this choke. So I want to dig in and create as much space as I possibly can. Here. Try to dig my chin inside because you really need to be able to breathe in order to work. Now, I have the choke. I'm able to breathe now. Just created enough space to breathe. Now, once you can breathe, you have to be able to recognize the things that are going on. And because you have eyes, his feet are in front of you. You can't really see behind your head, so his feet are in front of you. So you have to be able to recognize when a person's feet are crossed. So now I'm defending the choke, and I see, look, his feet are crossed. I'm going to take my leg, grab my shin, put it on top of his feet. I'm going to put it on top of his feet as deep as I can. Trying to get my leg perpendicular to his. Once my leg's perpendicular to his, I'm going to lock the triangle, and then I'm going to fall to the side. By falling to the side, it's going to enable me to create more leverage in order to hip in. Now notice I'm going to fall to the side that my knee is bent and pointed in that direction, not my locked side. From here, I'm going to push forward. Still, at this same time, also you have to pay attention to the choke. Because if you don't pay attention to the choke, there's still a slight chance if you're starting to get dizzy that it won't work. So always pay attention to the choke. Make sure that you're using this as a counter and not too offensively. Because if you don't pay attention to this choke, and you're like, oh, look, you're going to get choked. So defend the choke. Oh, look, his feet are crossed. Bring it through. Fall to the side. And finish. Now the question is, which leg do you throw over the top? In my experience, I found that both legs are going to be damaging. It both sucks for the guy behind me. I can throw this one over, block this way, or I can throw this one over and fall this way. Now, here's a twofer. Guess what? We're giving them 2 for 1 in this technique. Now, what'll happen sometimes is they will body triangle you. Here, now this is going to be a little bit more difficult to escape, and it's a lot tighter. But if they body triangle you, what you want to do is, again, defend the choke. It's going to be harder to escape the position, but you still got to defend the choke. Defend the choke. Now I'm going to lean to the side that the body triangle is on. I'm going to trap the foot, push down on the knee, and push my hips forward. This is also going to work if he body triangles me and we're faced up. Here, and this is horrible because sometimes even from this position he can put so much pressure that he can get the submission with just squeezing his leg. So if he's got the body triangle here, let me spin you guys here. If he's got the body triangle here, I have to act fast and we're facing up here. First, defend the choke, keep the choke from sliding under your neck. See the foot, come over the top, push down the knee, and hip in. Now full speed. All right, right now we're in a neutral, very, very neutral position, and this is very common. You're going to find yourself in this position a lot if you're a leg locker, and especially if you're going up against another leg locker. You guys will find yourself in this position a ton of times, where one person has an ankle lock, the other person has an ankle lock, and now you're in a neutral position, and now it's just a matter of sometimes of who's tougher. I'm working here, and I'm pointing my toes up, he's pointing his toe up. Here, he's making it difficult for me to finish the position. So when he does this, I'm going to stretch back, let the leg pass to the opposite arm here, this way, and catch it with this arm here, and now I'm going to finish. But watch what I do with my leg in order to get more pressure on his foot here, on his foot. Instead of just finishing here, I'm going to come underneath here and push it away. Pushing it away here puts a lot more pressure on his leg. So now I got a lot of pressure, and he can't combat that because he's got this little cheesy foot lock, and I got the real good one here. All right, now let's do that in fast motion. All right, now I'm working from the position. He has a ankle lock on me here, and he failed to really secure the positioning with his legs. He's working it from here. So the first thing I'm gonna do, he's probably gonna have his knees tight and try to extend. I gotta point my toes up here. Watch my foot. I'm gonna point my toes up and straighten my leg. That's gonna keep me safe until I can find a way out. So I want to stay safe at least until I can find a way out. So I'm staying safe here. Got this straight. Now I have to break his legs. I'm going to break his legs. This leg will come over the top, push his leg down. Now watch my foot now. Now that I've taken this pressure off, I'm going to point my toe down. And I'm going to turn my foot. And that's going to enable me to slide my foot out because I'm not going to do it with my toe pointed up. So I need to point my toe down. Now I'm going to turn my foot as I turn my hip. Now look at my foot. Now it's going to be very easy to pull my knee through. I'm going to pull my knee through to here. Now after my knees pull through, I'm going to take my leg, come over the top here, grab his ankle, pull it to my ear, and extend for the knee bar. Now let me give you another angle so you guys can see from the inside of the maneuvers here. Okay, first things first, I'm here. I have to keep my legs safe, point toes up, and extend my leg, straighten my leg. Now from here, come through, open his legs. Now, point my toe down and turn my foot as I turn my hip. That motion right there is going to get my heel to come out to here. Now that my heel's out, I'm going to bring my knee in to here. I'm going to reach, grab his ankles. I throw my leg over the top, pull his ankle to my ear, and extend for the knee bar. Now full speed. Did I think I Fight Athletics today? I don't think I did. I Fight Athletics, y'all. Pick that up. All right, guys, I know what you looking at, can't believe your eyes, but yes, that's right. Dean Thomas, I did it. All right, watch what I do here. I'm gonna take, he's got me in an ankle lock here, and he failed to really come up over the top and secure my body with his legs. Now, yes, he can still finish from this position if I don't defend it fast enough. So I'm gonna make sure I defend this thing fast enough and then work offensively off this. All right, the first thing I want to do once he gets here is straighten my leg so he can't really put the pressure on my Achilles tendon. So I'm going to straighten my leg. Now I'm going to separate his legs. So I'm going to take my leg, come over the top, and separate his legs. Push his leg to the floor. That's going to give me the path to start scooting my hips out towards his head. So once I step on his leg, I got that path. I'm going to put my hand on his foot and scoot my hips out to here. Now here, if he doesn't let go of my leg, I'm going to reach up. I'm going to grab his elbow and his shoulder, and I'm going to pull it to me as I scoot into him and shoot my leg through his body to here. Now, I'm going to change my grip, kick over, and Omoplata. Okay, now let's do it from a different angle. Because you guys got to see this. All right. There he is again. If I'm not careful, here he can be any way he wants. Here, and if I don't act fast enough, he'll put so much pressure on my leg and force me to tap. So I have to open his legs first. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna straighten my leg just so I can survive a little bit. Now I'm gonna open his legs. Take my leg, come inside, open it, and step on his. Now I stepped on his leg and put my hand on his foot here, if you can see. Got my hand on his foot just to keep it there for a while I scoot out. So now I'm scooting out to the side. Once I get to the side, I'm going to reach up, grab his shoulder and his elbow, and I'm going to pull it to me as I shoot my leg through, and I shoot my hips closer to his body, to here. Bring my leg through, grab his wrist, and come through and bam! Omoplata. All right, full speed. Okay, guys, here's one of them techniques that you got to move fast on, because, you know, if you allow him, now for me, you know, can openers aren't the most, technical moves, and to be honest with you, I don't really think they have a good success rate in submission grappling, but they do have their purpose. And if you don't act fast enough and you allow a bigger and stronger guy to put it on you deeply, then yeah, it can probably work if you don't act fast. So you don't want to underestimate a can opener. Just because I may talk trash about it, you still don't want to underestimate it. You still got to move fast on it. So here's an option that you can use when he's going to can opener. All right, now, once he locks his hands behind my head, I want to act fast. I don't want to let him get too deep into it to where now I can't maneuver. I can't move around. So once he locks it here, I'm going to take both my arms and start to push away on his face. Just kind of cross your arms and start to push away on his face. Get his elbows to come together. This is going to create the space that you need to bring your legs up. Because if he locks it up too deep and you can't get your hands in, you're going to have a hard time. He's going to really make it difficult for you. So once he gets here, and he starts to push in, I'm gonna lock him down, cross my arms here. Now from here I have a lot of room with my legs. I'm gonna open my legs, raise my hips, and put my legs behind his neck, right here. Once my legs are behind his neck, I chop down on the back of his neck, and I make him pay for it. Extend my hips, pull his hands away from his body for the double arm lock. Also, when you're here, this makes no sense if I'm just here like this and I pull his arms and my knees ain't tight together. So once I get here, I lock my feet down on his back, and I squeeze my knees together. You see his face? If I leave him open, he's fine. As soon as I squeeze my knees, look at his face. I ain't even used my hands yet. Now, exactly, I ain't used my hands and I can get him to tap. Squeezing your knees makes a big deal. So once you squeeze your knees, then you can really extend your hips and pull his hands away. Now full speed. Guys, can openers, they don't really work all that well against guys with good guards. And if you're buying this, if you've got this DVD and you're watching this DVD, then I'm assuming you have a good guard because you've been watching the DVD and you've been paying attention. All right, so when somebody goes to can open you, here is the perfect counter in order to get out. Okay, I'm here. Here goes the can opener. You're going to have a little bit of flexibility in your neck in order to deal with the first initial pressure. So as he's going for here, I'm dealing with the pressure here. Now I'm going to grab his arm here and just kind of pin it into my chest. My other hand is going to come underneath his legs to help me spin. So it's going to come underneath here. Turn a little bit. So he's going for a can opener. I'm just crunching up, grabbing his arm, pinning it to my chest, and I'm going to bring my hand under. Now that my hand's under, I'm going to open my legs and spin. Like I was breakdancing. That's the key. Is you got to spin like you're breakdancing. So you want to round your back. You want to make your back as round as possible and spin on the small part of your back. If you're flat on your back, it's not going to work. You're going to be like, it's too much friction. You're going to be grinding along the mat. So you want to make your back as round as possible so that you can get a good spin. You're going to open your legs up. You're going to pull your head towards the leg that you grab. You're going to kick your leg all the way around. So when this guy goes to can opener me here, thinking he's going to submit me, that's not a problem. I want him to. I'm going to just roll with it for a little bit, pin his elbow into his body, reach under his legs, open mine, and spin. Lock down and finish the arm lock with no problem. And guys, this move is so easy that I'm going to do it right now with my eyes closed in full speed. See my eyes closed? Okay, in today's fight game, you're not really going to see a lot of professional fighters on their back, inside control, going for the guillotine, but it will happen against some lower level grapplers or your buddies. And if you are buying this DVD, if you have this DVD and you're watching this, then I'm sure you're the type that probably practices at home, and you probably practice on your buddies a lot. And your buddies will hold on to a guillotine around your neck and make it very difficult for you to get out of it. Sometimes, so you want to have some answers when they get you in this type of position. You'll be trying to pass the guard here. They'll be going for a guillotine. You'll be trying to pass the guard. You'll pass the guard, and they'll just hang on to this. They'll hang on to your neck. So that happens all the time, and you don't want to get caught in that position without having some answers. So I'm going to give you a submission that'll make them never do that to you again. Okay, so I'm starting off. I'm past his guard here. He's got me in the guillotine. First thing I want to do is I want to come on his neck, reaching under his head here, and I'm putting my shoulder on the side of his neck this way. Already starting to put pressure. Now, if you can see his hand here, around here, I'm going to trap that in there so he can't get it out and defend the choke that I'm going to put on him. So I'm underneath his head with my shoulder on his neck. I'm just going to feel, using my shoulder, I'm going to feel his neck. My palm is down. Now I'm going to come over the top and I trap his hand exactly where it's at. Now I'm going to grip my hands here, underneath the head, or rather, underneath the shoulder rather. Now I'm going to apply pressure and twist and get the finish. So I'm going to give you another angle so you can see the amount of pressure that I'm putting on his neck with my shoulder. I'm here, trap the arm in, get my grip, and I pressure. If you can look at my leg work, I'm getting extra pressure by twisting my hips to put on his face. More pressure on his face by twisting my hips. I can't get a lot of pressure being flat. I'm going to twist my hips and get even more pressure. Okay, now let's do it in full speed. Okay, this counter is going to work when a person has you in a triangle and it's pretty deep. Because, you know, most times when they have you in a triangle, your idea, the object is to just get out of the triangle, start over and try to pass the guard. But this time, his triangle is too deep to where I can't really lift up and explode out, get my head out, and break the triangle. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to counter in a different type of way. He has a triangle over here, and if the pressure's too deep and I can't look up and explode out, it's going to be difficult to get out of this triangle. So what I'm going to do is first I have to survive, I have to be able to breathe. I'll take my hand, put it on his leg to create a little bit of space for me to breathe. Now from here, don't let that arm get too far across his body. Try to keep it on the center of his body, because once it's here, it's going to be difficult to get out. So breathe, keep the arm on the center of his body. Now I'm going to walk my legs up. Lean forward, walk your legs up, and the same side that your arm is, if this arm is on the inside, I'm going to use that leg to stick in the middle of his butt. So I'm here, I'm going to walk my legs up, put my knee in the center. And what that's going to do is that's going to create this space in order for me to breathe and get out and then break his legs. It's going to be hard for him to control the triangle with my knee in the center. So if I have my right arm stuck inside the triangle, I'm going to use my right leg. So I come out, breathe, have my arm across, I make sure you can't pull my arm all the way across. I step up, put my leg in the center, and sit back. Once I sit back, I control his leg. Don't let the leg go. Control the leg, then I'm going to step up, still controlling the leg, throw the leg over the top, and finish with the heel hook. So once I'm controlling the leg, throw the leg over the top, put the foot under, finish with the heel hook. And remember, you know, I'm not going to go over all the details of the heel hook. If you want to know the details of the heel hook, you got to get that DVD series. Now, in full speed. Okay, my opponent right now, he's going for a Kimura on me. How dare you go for a Kimura on me? I think you pay for this. All right, he goes for a Kimura. He sits back, reaches up, he grabs it. I'm here. First thing what I want to do first is just secure the position. I don't want him to come out here and get his hips out. So I'm going to secure the position by just kind of leaning in a little bit to make sure his hips stay on the outside. So I can just kind of alter my angle a little bit with my arm here to keep his hips on this side. If I leave him this much room, he'll easily get his hips out to the other side and finish the Kimura. So I want to lean in a little bit to keep his hips on that side. Now I'm going to post my leg up, keep my weight on this side, and I'm going to start pushing down on his hips. As I'm pushing down on his hips, I'm also trapping his hand underneath. I'm going to change this angle so you guys can see this trap that I'm doing with his arm. Right, he's got the Kimura here, this way. Now I'm going to trap his wrist in between my arm here. So I'm trapping it here. Right, I'm showing you guys this angle here so you guys can see, but I'm going to trap his arm just like this underneath. So now he goes for it. There. I can't trap here. I have to lean in on him here, keeping his hips out. Now I'm starting to push his hips down. Then I'm going to reach to him, grab my own arm. I still have his wrist trapped in between my arm. So now I'm going to push his hip down. Once his hip is down, I'm going to figure four my arms here, lean on his elbow, and pull up. So, I dare you, Kimura me. You get Kimura back, boy. All right, one more time. So he goes through, he leans in, or he reaches up. It's important that I lean this way to keep his weight from going back that other side. I base up, reach through, start pushing his hip down, reach through, trap his arm, and finish. Now, fast motion. All right, family, there's many different things that can happen when you're passing guard. You can make mistakes, put your hand on the floor, and this guy will capitalize off that and go for a submission. So in this particular situation, I'm starting here, and we're scrambling. I'm trying to pass the guard, so on and so forth. We're fighting here. Then I put my hand on the floor, and he reaches up and goes for a Kimura here. Now, the first thing, I have to make sure that he doesn't open his guard and get his hips back out to the other side initially. So once this happens, I have to, guess what? Recognize what's going on. I feel him going for the Kimura. I recognize what's going on here. Before he can get a chance to turn and face me and get his hips out, I'm going to jump over his legs and swing all the way around over his head. So from here, I'm jumping all the way around to here. I'm going to get my knee in his hip, or his ribs, my shin right in his ribs, knee up, elbow to the chest, knees together, and finish. Okay, so that's going to be my counter when he goes for the Kimura during the scramble. You know, we're scrambling and fighting. He goes for the Kimura here, recognize it, don't allow him to turn. You know, because if he turns and he bucks and turns that way, he's going to finish. So I'm going to jump all the way over to here, knee up, stay close, and finish. Now, one time in full speed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, he's got me in an Omoplata. All right, I'm in the position, and he makes the mistake of hooking my leg here in order for me not to hop over his head and get out of the position. So once this happened, I notice his arm's in there. I notice he's making that mistake. I'm going to grab his arm. Now he's not going to be able to get it out. So, very important, grab the arm. Don't just try to roll, because then once you start to roll, he'll get the arm out. So I'm going to grab his arm so he can no longer pull it out. Now once I have control of his arm, I'm going to roll right over the top of my shoulder and re-Omoplata him. So I'm going to look behind me and roll. As I roll, it's very important that as you roll, you're going to kick your leg. You're going to kick the leg that's underneath the armpit, because I want him to flatten out, because if I don't get him to flatten out, we may find ourselves in a position where he re-omoplatas me afterwards. So I want to kick him to flatten him out. So as I'm rolling, I'm going to come through, kick him through to flatten him out. Then after I got him halfway flat, I'm going to scoop my hips out. Now from here, now that my hips are out, he's not going to be able to get back to his knees to roll back through. Once I get here, come underneath the shoulder, he's not going to roll again. And I can finish. All right, now full speed. All right, there's another situation where he's got me in an omoplata. Once I'm here, it's very important that before you can start to work a counter submission to what he's doing, you have to stabilize first so that you can start to work, because you don't want to work from a position and start getting out, start countering his submission, and then him just reapplying that submission and making it work for you, making it worse for you rather. So he's got me in the omoplata here. All right, the first thing I want to do is I don't want to get flattened out, because once you're flattened out, it's going to be hard to work from there. So I'm going to base out. I'm going to step here. Now I have a base. Now he's not going to flatten me out. I have a pretty good base. I also want to make sure my arm here, the arm that's in the omoplata, is safe. So I just want to, I can tighten it up. I can grab my own thigh here. I can step on it with my own leg to make sure it's safe so he can't work any other submissions off of that. So I base out. And I make myself safe. Right now I'm just stepping on my own arm. Now from here, his leg is dangling. I'm going to reach up, I'm going to grab it, I'm going to put it behind my head here. I'm going to lock it up, I'm going to look up to lock it up. Then I'm going to grab the top of his toes. Important to grab the top of the toes. If I'm just pulling down here, I'm not going to get a lot of leverage on his leg. I'm going to grab the top of his toes. As I look up, I'm going to pull down to get the leg lock. So look up, pull down on the top of his toes. I'm also driving my head into his foot. By doing that, it's going to put a lot of pressure on his calf. So I'm here, and I get the finish. All right, let's do this in fast motion. My opponent just put me in a triangle and I need to get out. I need to get out fast. Then once I get out, I'm going to counter him with a screw lock. Alright, he locks the triangle up. The first things first, defend the triangle. Make sure you can breathe. Makes no sense trying to counter if you can't get out initially. So first thing I need to breathe, create some space, lock his hips down. Now, locking his hips down, I'm going to step up, tight, close to his body, step up and then sit down. Once I sit down, I'm going to take my legs from here, keep your head up, don't keep looking down. I'm going to take my leg, put it on his stomach, put the other one on his stomach, squeeze my knees, and pressure back. This is going to break his triangle. Once I break the triangle, from here, I'm going to squeeze my knees as tight as I can, sandwiching his together, and then I'm going to go ahead and screw lock. I'm going to push his foot out, I'll push the other foot out, I can push both of them out for the double screw lock. The key is once you break the triangle, keep your knees as tight as you can, above his thighs, right on his thighs, keeping his knees stable, and then push his feet out. Now full speed. Okay, now I'm going to work from the guillotine position, starting from the feet. My opponent got me in the guillotine. I need to first defend the guillotine. Don't get choked out. Trying to counter a move. Don't get choked out. So first he gets me in the guillotine. All right, first thing, turn your head. Hand inside. Alleviate that pressure. Once the pressure is alleviated, I'm going to reach up over top of his head. Here. And once I have over top, I can drag him down to here. But I want to do it a little bit easier and make my life much easier for me to finalize this move. And how I'm going to do that, I'm just going to move my feet out. And I'm going to get a lot more pressure by moving my feet out to the side. Makes it a lot easier. And you always want to make your job as easy as possible. First, defend the choke. Don't get choked out. Defend. I'm going to reach up. Grab around for his head. I'm going to grab my hands. And as I grab around for his head, you can't be loose about this. You have to be tough. Be strong and bring it through. I'm going to be strong, and I'm going to move my feet to the side. That's also going to make me that much stronger. Coming to the side. Make me that much stronger. So, here, defend, I'm going to reach up, wrench down as I move to the side. You notice his body moves with it. I'm going to move to the side. I'm going to wrench up, move to the side. Now, once I move to the side, I'm going to lock my grip. Come through. I'm going to swim inside his hands, and I'm going to lock the grip at the biceps. So I have his head all the way through here, and I bring him down. Then I'm going to slide my hand up, grab my bicep tricep area, and put this hand right on his shoulder. So he has to reach through to the side. Now from here, I'm going to slide my hand up the inside of his shoulder. Don't put it on the outside, put it on the inside. Now look at his neck. From here, I'm going to squeeze my elbows in, put it through, push my chest down on his head, and squeeze. Squeeze your shoulder in, squeeze your elbows in, push down on his chest. Everything, you're going to get pressure coming from all angles to get that finish. Now, full speed. All right, now I'm in a situation, he's got me in an arm lock. First thing I want to do, make sure that your arm is safe. You can't start to work a counter submission if you don't get out of the submission first. So here, we start here. He locks up the arm lock here. I'm going to grab, and then I get my grip. It's nice and tight. Now I'm going to start to move my hips out. As I'm moving my hips out, I'm slowly getting my elbow out, getting my elbow up. Now from here, once I get far enough out, I stick my knee underneath to push and create more space to get my arm out. Now once I got my knee in, I'm not going to take it out. I'm already going to start setting my body up to attack this leg. So I'm pushing out. My knee's still in the center. Once I come all the way in, I'm going to pull my knee up towards the ceiling, throw this one over the top. Now I got two legs in. I'm going to sandwich his leg and finish with the heel hook. Also, I can come here, Achilles lock, or if he's getting too crazy, I switch sides on him, come this way, and give him the business. All right, one time in fast motion. Okay, now here's another counter submission. I really like this submission a lot. I'm working from here, and he, let's say he's got a leg in, and I'm a little loose. He's very flexible with his legs. He gets his leg over the top, and he applies an arm lock here. All right, the first thing I have to do is defend the arm lock. So I'm going to crouch keep my arm from getting extended. And I'm gonna block my arm. Now he's gonna have a hard time finishing. Now from here, I'm gonna step up behind his butt this way. Then I'm gonna bring my other knee up to here. Now I'm gonna get my arm free. So I defended the arm lock by keeping them crouched, stacking them up, keeping them crouched. My legs are up, my leg up, now I'm gonna get my arm free. Once my arm is free, I'm here, he's got the arm bar. Once I get this arm free, I'm not just gonna bring it out here, I'm gonna bring it here, right on his foot. Now I'm gonna sit back here, throw my leg over the top, and now I have the reverse heel hook. So it's very important when you come up, you're here, once you get your arm free, don't waste no time. Automatically start coming on the ankle. Then sit back. Don't even sit down, then sit back, then finish the lock. Now full speed.